can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright guys, this chapter right here was definitely a very good chapter. A lot of you guys would probably agree that this chapter right here was a lot better than the past 2 or 3 chapters of the Boruto manga, just because there was actual plot being progressed in this actual chapter. Now, the first obvious thing that we do have to bring up has to be Kawaki leaving the Hidden Leaf Village. This right here is very confusing in itself, why Kawaki actually left. I'll get into that a little bit later, but first I want to talk about exactly how he did leave. Kawaki didn't really understand that the leaf had a security system, which is like a chakra net or whatever it was. Out of nowhere, Ino and Shikadai completely explained everything to Kawaki earlier on in this chapter. Like, do they want Kawaki to leave or something like that? But regardless, Kawaki ended up masking his own chakra to pretty much escape and elude the actual chakra system and chakra surveillance of the Hidden Leaf Village and the Yamanaka clan, and then he actually left a shadow clone to pretty much throw off the scent of the actual person tracking him. Now this right here was interesting in itself. Supposedly Kawaki has the ability to mask his own chakra. This right here was a surprise to me. I'm pretty sure it was a surprise to a lot of you guys. And on top of that, Boruto was able to sense Kawaki, and Boruto out of nowhere completely turned into a S-rank sensory ninja and completely tracked Kawaki from leaving outside of the house. Now, the overall story I like the overall progress of the plot, even though I might not understand it as of right now. I like that part. The logistics of this is a little bit troublesome. Here's the thing. There is, of course, going to be the Otsutsuki excuse that, hey, Kawaki is 80% Otsutsuki, he has the ability to mask his own chakra. Boruto is 80% Otsutsuki, he has the ability to sense when someone is masking their own chakra. I understand that, but how they get to that point, I'm like, yo, what's going on? So supposedly, you actually explained it like it's like a deer or a young animal learning how to walk without having any prior knowledge. I understand in their case, but in this case, I would really like to see Kawaki and Boruto potentially trying to learn or train some of these Otsutsuki abilities. It can't necessarily be every single chapter they miraculously gain another ability, and then we just explain it by saying, hey, they're part Otsutsuki. Just so you guys can get a better understanding, I'd say my absolute dream scenario about this, and obviously this right here is probably not necessarily going to happen, but my absolute dream scenario about this would probably be like, I don't know, Tonei comes back and then teaches Kawaki and Boruto how to use some of the Otsutsuki abilities that they did learn from the Karma Seal. Even if this is like an anime only arc where Tonei gets unsealed and teaches Boruto and Kawaki a bunch of things, there's a story behind them learning these abilities. But since there is no story about them learning these abilities, it's kind of confusing. But regardless, Kawaki leaves the Hidden Leaf Village. Now, why he left is a story in itself. We know right now, and this right here was even talked about in the actual chapter, Kawaki is 100% loyal to Naruto. We understand that he's leaving the Hidden Leaf Village right now to potentially gain power to actually protect the 7th Hokage, Naruto Uzumaki. But what is he really trying to do? Like, what we thought was that he's going to probably go to Amado and then try to actually get another modification to potentially get him a little bit stronger, potentially get another ability from Amado. We understand that Amado is very good at actually giving people abilities. For example, Damon's abilities, Ida's abilities, Code's abilities. These are things that potentially he gave to them. And obviously him giving something like that to Kawaki wouldn't necessarily be completely out of the range of possibilities. But now Kawaki just leaving and not necessarily thinking that Amado can actually help him with something like this is extremely confusing. It's very possible that he's potentially headed to like one of the Kata organization hideouts. Maybe he has one of the tools that he did leave behind. Obviously, there's also that possibility that he wants to get the staff that Jigen used a lot. We've seen him using the staff in the fight versus Boruto. So it's definitely not out of the range of possibilities. We just didn't necessarily think that he'd go to these type of lengths of actually leaving the Hidden Leaf Village to actually get this power up. But this right here was a hell of a cliffhanger. Obviously, I did not want this chapter right here to end right here. I definitely do want to see exactly where Kawaki is going, what he wants to do. And the other biggest part about this chapter is Code finally sliding on the Hidden Leaf Village. This man enters the Hidden Leaf Village through one of his claw marks. Now, the big part about this is going to be, did Code successfully enter the Hidden Leaf Village undetected? In this chapter, it was on full display. The Hidden Leaf Village was investigating multiple claw marks from Code. Supposedly, there were 4 different claw marks. My personal opinion is that the 4 different claw marks that we did see, well, we technically only seen 1, but I think that the 4 different claw marks were kind of obvious claw marks. I think that Code's claw marks that he was actually going to use is a little bit more hidden, and this is exactly what Sasuke said. He said that if he was Code, he wouldn't necessarily use that specific claw mark right there. And the claw mark that Code actually did come through was a lot more subtle and a lot more, how should I say this, undetectable. The claw mark that they were investigating was in clear, plain sight, but the claw mark that Code actually did come through looked like an actual crease in the tree that would naturally be there. So another natural storyline is going to be when Sasuke did actually leave that claw mark that he was investigating at first in the beginning of the chapter, did he stumble upon this brand new claw mark that Code actually came out of? If that is the case, it would obviously set up a battle with Sasuke versus Code. Now, in that particular battle, a lot of people automatically think that Code is probably going to win. I personally do not know. I'm going to say this right now. I would not rule out Sasuke beating Code 1v1 right here, right now, flat out. That would not be out of the realm of possibilities. But obviously, I think I speak for a lot of people when I say this. I would definitely like to see Sasuke and Code at least get into some sort of interaction in the next chapter. Now, there's also some other cool scenes in this chapter as well. We did see a scene where Shikamaru was talking to Amado. During the scene, Shikamaru was completely uncomfortable with Amado being there, and I talked about this when I did see the spoilers, and I did see them actually say that Shikamaru would be talking to Amado in this chapter. I said that right there is completely out of the ordinary, mainly because Shikamaru doesn't trust any of this. He doesn't even trust Kawaki, who on paper seems like he's 100% loyal to Naruto. So I damn sure know that Shikamaru wouldn't be completely friendly to this guy Amado either. And Shikamaru stated that multiple times. He even said that he thinks that Amado planned all of this out and everything is going completely according to his plan. One of the funny things that I have been noticing over the past couple of days is a lot of people talking about how the anime actually censored Amado smoking a cigarette. Now, this particular scene right here, Shikamaru is actually smoking a cigarette and Amado walks up and he tries to actually light a cigarette as well. In the anime, are they just going to have both of them sipping on some coffee? Like, is that gonna be what the situation is? And is Shikamaru gonna tell Amado like, you can't drink a cup of coffee out here? I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. Now, speaking of Naruto in regards to the next chapter, it's going to be very interesting to see if Boruto actually tells Naruto about what's going on. Now, supposedly, Kawaki is doing this in the best interest of Naruto, but we do understand that Kawaki right now is in absolute grave danger. Like, obviously, the best thing to do right now is going to be to tell Naruto, Boruto and Kawaki have absolutely no idea that Code has the drop on them. The absolute drop on them, the clairvoyance drop. Because of that, they're probably not necessarily going to move with the idea that they're in imminent danger. So because of that, I don't necessarily see them actually telling Naruto. But regardless, this chapter right here was definitely interesting. I'm pretty damn sure that a lot of you guys liked exactly what happened in this chapter, me personally as well. The only bit of problem that I did actually have was them explaining some things with just, hey, they're part Otsutsuki. We're probably going to get more information about that as well. Hopefully I feel better about that. But let me know what you guys think about this chapter in the comment section below. But it's been your boy Baara, and we out.
It's a knife.